Hi everyone. So today I was seeing the plans of Anthropic. They have three individual plans. First is a free, second is a pro, third is the max. Now I guess OpenAI has a similar plan structure. Free, pro, and max. So the theme of what I wanted to discuss about was overall SaaS business pricing plans structure and the revenue distribution based on this plan structure. So currently the cloud, the main product of the Anthropic, they are let me log the right one is there will be so they are the model providers. Model providers. Then there is cloud. Cloud or I would say compute providers. Now I'll come to the plan and pricing thing in a bit because before understanding this plan and pricing, this part is also important. Understanding in which category do these fall to SaaS business, especially modern companies, AI companies, Claude, OpenAI, or companies who have the product based on these foundational models. Now, cloud and compute providers, then application, sorry, application layer. Why I have mentioned this application layer is because in this layer, uh, here I can make this infra. No, this is not infra. This is infra. Yes, this is infra layer. So if we are to see overall theme of how funding is being done before the revenue, before the pricing plan, how these companies, AI companies, they're funding the big announcement. You get to hear that they are raising their Series E, Series G on $180 billion, 200 billion. Their valuation is, I think, cloud valuation is 880 or 890 billion dollar, 880, something around 850. OpenAI has similar valuation, but in the secondary markets, their valuation has crossed around, I think, trillion because the thinking or the whatever the market they are thinking that they are going to for IPO in late 2026 or in the next year 2027. So that is how investors will make the exit. That is why the secondary shares are uh, selling very their market valuation. Secondary market is very high. Okay, yes. So in the so these are the three layers. Now we will categorize companies also and the VC, the investment uh, box investment or the investors, venture investors. So companies like model provides. So here in this comes Anthropic, OpenAI, Mistral, uh, Google, Gemini is their model, Google, then Quant models by Alibaba, then the different other models. Now, many application layer companies they have also launched their own models, but they are not as good, I would say, because many voice AI companies like 11.io, 11, they have also launched their own models. But for now, let's say those who are mainly foundational models, and they have also moved into product side. So these two things, this model provider and this model provider and this application layer of companies. So here, in let's say application layer falls into like companies which are using the foundational model to have this one. So all the what could be the companies that are using, let's say the cursor, one was the coding company that was the cursor one. Then what are the other companies that are using this foundational layer? So it could be, let's say Stripe. Stripe is not actually using it, but in one of the features they might use. So it could be called an application layer company or any new area startup. Those who are using, I think Y Combinator has funded many companies in this layer, application layer. Those who are using foundation model to solve a business use case. It could be in law, it could be in health, it could be in different domain, but these are the many companies. Now, who comes in this category, cloud and infra? So here the picture becomes little interesting. Why? Because the investors or the venture capital, those who were earlier in the this venture capital, they can provide you two things for startups. Either they provide you, either not either, they provide you with capital and with network. So these are the two main value they provide to any startup. So they bring in the capital that the startups require, and they bring in the network. Through network, they can give you the business opportunity. They can provide you the right talent. So these things they use to. But now what has happened in this scenario, fundraising and everything, especially for the model providers like Anthropic and OpenAI, is that they not don't need capital. What they need is compute. They need compute to train their models. Now this only few players can provide, like Microsoft, Google, AWS, Nvidia. They can only provide the compute. So if you look at the uh, cap table, look at the cap table of Anthropic. It is around 20 to 25%. Google has recently announced that they are investing $40 billion to the Anthropic. Now this 40 billion is divided into multiple years. And $10 billion is the cash, and now 30 rest of the investment is based on meeting the certain performance targets. 25 to 30%. 25% is I think Google. Then there is an AWS, I think similar stake. AWS also is around 25 to 30%, 30% of the stake. Then the founders, brothers and sister siblings, and the institutional VCs pension fund, and then the employees of say. So the model providers they don't need cash much because this is the plan. Now herein comes the plan. Now if you divide their revenue distribution, now cloud revenue has went in around 40 or 30 billion cloud revenue means cloud revenue, let me search, I think it is 40 billion now. uh, cloud revenue, so it is around 30 billion dollar. ARR is 30 billion dollar, and it might be approaching to the 40 billion dollar. So their ARR is 50 billion. So they don't need cash. Let's say Anthropic ARR is $30 billion. So they do not really need cash for running the general operations. What they need actually is the compute which they can provide. So what has become whenever you hear the funding rounds for these companies like Anthropic, OpenAI, they averaged 150, $180 billion from AWS or Gemini or OpenAI has announced in partnership with Google or AWS or something. Is that this compute has become capital? Because let's say I'm investing $180 billion in Anthropic. Now, where is Anthropic going to spend that money to train their next model? And to train a model, next model, they I think $2 to $4 billion is required. To train a model, capital expenditure is around $2 to $4 billion or $5 billion. So I think yes, 2026 training was at 12 billion this year alone. That it could be a total budget. So that much capital for a normal VC is not does not make sense. And also anyway, if they let's say I am a normal VC and if I give Anthropic $50 billion or $100 billion, so where is that capital is going to be spent? It is going to be spent on the uh, Google data center or Microsoft. It is going in the hands of Google, AWS, or uh, Microsoft. It is going to them only. So what these companies, let's say these companies, Microsoft, Google, AWS, or model providers, they are directly announcing the partnership without the layer of that uh, traditional venture capital and all this. So this is what is happening when you listen to all this partnership investment and everything. So that way, Google anyway, if they announce $40 billion investment into the Anthropic, most of that money is again flowing back to the Google account only. It is not going to the Anthropic because Google is Anthropic is anyway going to spend that money into the training their models. That is their biggest expense. Okay. Now, yes. Second point, yes, related to that only. That the pricing plans. Yes. Yes. This is the Now, this is one thing I want to talk about computer script. So that is why these application layer when you see, that is where the normal VCs are moved in. Let's say A16Z, very big venture capital fund, or founders fund. They have also investment founders fund, or under C, which these are also very big fund. These are the top VC funds in Silicon Valley. So they have moved into application layer. They have, I think, each one of them have announced a specific AI fund. For A16J, I think it is $15 billion or something. But again, mostly on the application layer. They are only concerned about the companies who are solving the real business use case using the foundational model. They are only concerned about that. It could be law, it could be health, anywhere, it does not matter. Because there they can provide the funding and the model, Anthropic and all. Now here again, the Anthropic, they have also launched their own product. Like if you see Claude Code, Claude Co-work or something. Here you can see their model is product. Yes, Claude Cover, Claude Code, Claude Code for enterprises. I think Deloitte has purchased this and they have given to all the employees all over the world. So these are things happening in the means understanding the investment and the partnership and how different layer operates in this AI software cycle that we have seen in the SaaS business. Now moving into the second part of it. The second part is the plans and pricing. How plans is generally structured. Mostly it is freeway. The free plan, given that this is a B2C or B2B hybrid product, SaaS, because they cater to both to the individual also and the enterprise also. But now they have shifted their focus to the enterprise because that is where the real money or most of their revenue is. But if I were to divide the revenue distribution, let's say dividing the, let's say as we discussed, their ARR is $30 billion. So let's say divide the revenue distribution of that $30 billion. So it is 70%, 20%, and 10%. Then we will divide the customer distribution. Now this revenue distribution will okay. This we are doing distribution based on the plans and pricing whatever we have. 80, 10, 10. Yes. Now revenue distribution is 70%, 20%, 10%. Now there are three plans. These three pro and max. Now these are individual plans. Now let us go to the teams and enterprises. So their revenue distribution, yes, 70%. If I were to guess, it is coming from this plan, this pro. This is their major bulk of revenue because if you see what is included in this, whatever they provided, okay, again they have a 5 hour rolling window based on the active users of user token access and token spend there. And what is in free, you can chat, web, iOS, Android. You can write it, you can analyze text, create files, execute code, Slack and Google Workspace. As a connector, you can do that. Integrate any MCP and everything, standard thinking. If there's they have provided standard thinking, I think it is called adaptive or something. Now in the $70 if you bill yearly, $20 if you bill monthly. See, $70 per month with annual subscription means you are getting $3 discount means $200 for a year. Or $20 if you bill this monthly once. So you get everything in what is it available in the free and more users, cloud code, cloud work and everything, research, Excel, PowerPoint, what they have built for everything. So you can use everything. Now when you come to the pro max plan, in max plan it starts from $200 per month. But if you want to, uh, within the max plan, there is two plans. If you choose the 5x or 20x, you have option to choose both. Now for 20x, I think it is $200 per month because OpenAI is similar, higher or priority access. So recently they are means some viewers or the users of Pro plan, they have noted that the token users in this plan is very high, even for a small task. So in a way, they were thinking that Claude is pushing them for this max plan. That once they have you are on this pro plan and you want to complete a task, you are building some app or testing controls something like that. So they are pushing you for this max plan just to increase for their revenue. So my estimated guess is that most of this the revenue is 70% of it is from the pro plan, and their customers also 80% of customers are there pro plan only. 80% of customers. But recently, I have in the news I've seen that they have moved into long enterprise customers because they are the one providing the major revenue or a bulk revenue to them. And also, let's say if I am on a individual paying this monthly plan, so I can churn very fast, I can read this very fast. But enterprise, those who have an integration with they come with multiple customization, integration, requirement, compliance. So leaving them is very hard. So when they come on your platform, they use your platform. So it is very unlikely that they will leave you so easily, and their churn rate is very slow, very low. That is why Anthropic is targeting the enterprises. I think Fortune 500, at least 70 to 80%, I heard in the news that Anthropic is their client. And also compared to the OpenAI, Anthropic has become a favorite given their this Claude Code. This Claude Code is one of the major, their, most famous and most popular feature. Again, this comes with a pro plan. You cannot use this in a free. Okay, there they have compared also desktop extension is there, projects are there, yes. But in free plan also they provide projects. I do use the cloud mobile Android app, and their projects you can include in the projects 2 to 3 projects. Okay, see the max 5x, max 20x. Yes, payment option also there compared. But if I am on a free plan, then there is no applicable service. So this does not make sense. Okay, model uses yes. Model uses is correct. Sonnet and Haiku, Opus, yes, they do not provide Opus. Okay, priority access at high traffic times. You get this only in max or max plan only, not in the pro plan. And what is the model training? That is you can opt out of anything. User and organization level spend control. Okay. This is not available in the pro plan only because pro plan is again only focused on power users, individual users, those who are using it for personal productivity and building the tools. Adding seat meters. But I think this seat based pricing. I think this will be applicable in the enterprise cycle because enterprise they are buying it or based on the seat. The seat pricing, most traditional SaaS like SAP or Salesforce, they use this seat based pricing. So I think okay, let's check the teams and enterprises. Okay, in the teams, if there are teams from 5 to 150, I get a team plan. My standard seat is $20. Okay, my premium seat. Okay, so in the teams plan, these individual plans get into teams. There is no difference I think. The individual plans get into teams. Okay. So in the team plan, if your team size is 5 to 150, then the standard seat is again you $20. That is a pro plan. And again, if you build this annually, and if you do this monthly, then $25. Okay. So if I'm in a team plan and my standard seat is billed monthly, then I have to pay $25. Okay. So in team plan, I would be paying more. I'm individually asking my team, if let's say if I have a team of 10 person, I'm giving them cloud. Then if I'm purchasing individually yearly plan, then I have to pay $17. But if I buy the team plan, then I will be billed $20. Now if I use the max plan, a 5x max plan, then it is $100. Again, same thing. If I bill this monthly, then $125. But again, here if you choose the team plan, there is mix and match seat type, enterprise, admin control for remote role, local connector, single sign-on, central billing, and everything. It is Microsoft Slack and more lower and everything you get here. Okay, these are education plan, student facility. Okay, let's compare team and enterprise. Okay, so team. Okay, compare the growth and everything is there in both. Security and administration. What is not there? Migrate account using your own domains. Okay, so this is not there in the team plan. Central billing in everything is there. Organization. Domain capture, role-based access is not there. Audit logs. This is very critical feature. This is not there. Compliance is not there. Customer data retention is not there. This is IPA ready offering. I think it's some European control or something. Not there. Payment option partnership is not there. AWS is not there. If you look at it, the word by used model training. Now here they are using it in none by default, but there you use opt out. Okay, enterprise. Within enterprise there are two plans. One is self-serve. And second is self-assisted. Self-serve if I buy it myself and design. Again, this is a seat price plus usages API rate. $20 per seat. Google Doc, system for cross domain identity audit logs. And what is this API? Okay, now this is based on API priority standard batch. Okay, now this is means I just want to use the API model API, and this I can pick from any different vendors like they are provided with AWS and Microsoft Foundry, Azure, Google, Vertex. So that means that if I just am using their API model API for my platform for my application, not their Claude Code or like okay, there is a quiz also. Okay, how big is your team? Let's say my big team is 550 to 100, 500. And how many people use cloud? I think that 20 people will use my cloud. Again, this is where what is security used. SSO is enough advanced, regulated. So this regulated is big for enterprises like pharma, finance. It is very critical for them. So let's say I'm putting that I need a single sign-on standard. And how often will your team use cloud? Predictable, variable, heavy. So based on the users also, how heavy they will use. Now, what kind of contract? Now, contract uses security. Let's say tailored. Recommended is enterprise plan sales assistant. And you because when you say tailored, it will go into the enterprise plan sales assistant. Means you are a big company, even if your team size is small. Okay, that's all. And okay, let's see the price. This is your Opus. 4.6. Yes, this is their latest. Input is $5 per million token. Output is 25 on caching. Read is zero point 0.5. Write is 6.25. If you are caching the prompt. Okay, detailed pricing icon is flow. Base input 5 million cash write. 1 hour cash flow. Cash hit and refresh and output and token million tokens. Opus 4.7 uses a new tokenizer. Okay, see, just this was our technology. AWS Bedrock, Google Vertex, and Microsoft Foundry. They are available on these two three platforms also. And I think Anthropic is only one which is available on all three because Microsoft has 27% stake in the OpenAI, and most of their training and everything data is located in the Microsoft cloud. So Anthropic is able to balance both AWS and Google in terms of investment also and training and all that. But OpenAI has not been able to do that. Okay, that's all. In the next video, maybe we'll talk about more or something else. Thank you.